Hello YouTube, Intuitive Edge here. This is a follow-up to my last video, and this is regarding the rumors of the possible terror attack or false flag attack that's being planned. I just wanted to do a quick follow-up because I had a couple more questions on it that I wanted to get some more insight on to hopefully help, just to help out. So what I want to look at is who is involved. Why is this being done? In other words, what's being hidden? What do we need to know? And what can be done about it? What can be done to stop it, or to avert it, or to lessen the impact, or what can people do? So I want to take a look at those questions. Give me a moment while I shuffle up the cards and we'll get into it. Okay, almost done here. Okay, this is good. Okay, so let's cut the deck. We're going to look at who is involved, why is this being done, and what can be done. Get my camera settled here a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right. So who is involved in the plot? I feel like this relates to someone who is in the know, somebody who is in the know, like a head of state, or no, I don't want to say head of state. It's just somebody who is like high up, like they have access. They have access to information, and they're able to have a clear line of sight in terms of plotting. Okay, we'll get more on that. Why is this being done? Well, the hidden. So why is this being done? Now, this is a scene of the cat fight. This is a card that's come up a few times in readings before. And my camera keeps moving. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right. Gotta get my little makeshift tripod here. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So the card of the cat fight has come up. This is indicative of people vying for control, trying to, this feels like people are running scared. Like there's a group that is scared out of their minds, and they are fighting among each other, and they're fighting for supremacy and control, and wanting to get the upper hand of the narrative. I feel like these people are in legal trouble, and they're wanting to get control of the narrative, and they're like, it's like lashing out. Why is this being done? This is like a lashing, like a. I'll just leave it at that. What I said. we'll see what else comes on this, but that's kind of interesting. Okay. Okay, what can be done? This is interesting. The Three of Sky is kind of like the heartbreak card. This is like when you go through a breakup or a heartbreak, there's that like separation where you grieve. Say maybe you just broke up with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, and there's like this grieving process you go through, and then it's like you realize how much better you are off without that person after a while. It takes a little bit of time, but it's like there's this recognition that you're better off. And that's what the Three of Sky is. It's like it's well, with it being reversed. What can be done, I think, is to recognize who around us, how do I say this, guys? I'm just saying what's coming to me, and this is turning out really weird. Maybe the people that we look up to and that we follow are really not in our best interest. And if we could break up with them, so to speak, we'd realize that we're better off without them. Okay, I know that sounds weird. I'm going to try to tie that in. Well, let's get some more card. Oh my goodness, that card again? Okay. All right, I'm going to pause this while I get my camera set a little better. So just a second. Who is involved in the plot? This card again comes up on, this is the card that came up in the last reading, came up in the Las Vegas shooting reading. This is the card of basic like chaos and terror, things exploding, fire everywhere. But it's on who is involved. Now it's possible that this card is pulling up through all of these readings because all of these readings are connected. That's one possibility. It's possible that the same people that plotted those others are plotting the next. It could be that simple. I don't know, but that's just a thought. And why is this being done? Again, with this card below of the fight and vying for control, and again, I feel like that running scared that's fueling this frenzy. But this is, the Sky King is somebody who is in charge and very much in charge of the mental domain, especially. Controlling the narrative, controlling the mind, what people think. Okay. What can be done? This is the card of going within, introspection. Taking a look at things from an honest level. The picture is this cat is up in a tree, and when it's like being elevated, having a higher view, having a higher viewpoint, looking from a higher perspective. If you're close to this cat fight going on, it might muddy the waters, so get a higher perspective, so to speak. And look at your relationships. Now, I use the example back here of like a personal relationship with, someone with his girlfriend or boyfriend, and there's a breakup. Well, that's kind of metaphorically speaking, but look at who you're tied to emotionally, and just get a higher perspective of it, and don't get caught in the chaos and the fray of it. It's just have a higher mind, a higher perspective. I'll try to explain that a little better. Sorry if I'm not explaining what I mean very well there. Okay. again, who is involved? This is the world. This is this is a world, could possibly be elements possibly outside the United States that maybe have infiltrated in the United States, but there's like when you have the world, you have the bigger picture. It's kind of like there's probably a little more than just a homegrown lone gunman, okay? That's always the standby, it seems like. This feels like there's more to the story, and there's more people involved. This is a card of people, not just one lone nut that goes crazy. Okay, so if that's the story that comes up in the next week or so, that some crazy person went on a rampage and they were the lone gunman and now they're dead and they can't tell any tales, whatever. I'm kind of tired of that same old narrative. It seems to be always the case, right? But this indicates a vying for control and power between a group. I really feel like it's more of a group effort, not just one person. Okay. Now, why is this being done? Now, again, with the group fighting, trying to control the narrative, the mental state, then we've got the tower on top of it. The tower is all about things falling apart, catastrophe, things blowing up, destruction. And this could be, why is it being done? It's probably wanting to take down something. Like the take down could be a literal building. But why is this being done? And when you want to control the narrative and you're trying to take down something, I'll let that imagery kind of speak for itself at this point. What can be done? This card has come up so many times. It's the Sea King. I think this is a card of recognizing who is acting in your best interest and who is acting for their own self-interest. Seeing who is really your friend, who is really loyal to you, and who is being a shyster, being underhanded, being deceptive. And again, when you're back to this card again, when you're in a relationship and you're in love, it's like that person can do no wrong and you love that person. And it only comes out, maybe a long time after you divorced or broke up, that you realize, my God, my life is so much better without that person. How did I ever stay with that person? So I think just getting a higher perspective and recognizing that some people are really good at manipulating and showing that, that they pretend like they care, but really they're only out for their own self-interest. And I think this may be a lesson in learning that, to some degree. Now, how I pulled that all together, I don't know, but it seems related somehow. That we have to really begin to be discerning about who we allow to manipulate our worldview and our narrative. For a lot of us, we just believe the news because that's what's out there. But maybe think about getting different sources and not just one source. It's all about perspective and having a higher perspective and a higher mind and noticing when you're being manipulated or noticing when you're being preyed upon, so to speak. Because it always seems with whatever, these terror attacks that happen, whether they're in Paris or Las Vegas or wherever, it pulls at people's sensitivities and their heartstrings, and that's when people are pulled like that, they're really vulnerable to manipulation, and it's really sad, but it happens. um and so I think the key is to not let yourself be pulled or manipulated if something does go down, which I hope does not happen. um but don't let yourself be pulled and manipulated by it. Keep a level head, go within yourself, and just, and what I mean by go within, that's like a meditative lingo. It's like just take time to be with yourself and your emotions and your feelings. It's okay to have emotions and feelings, but just know when your chain's being yanked, and know who really is behind these things and who's really manipulating. We don't really, and we may never really know who really calls the shots. I mean, we may never know the full story on Mr. Paddock in Las Vegas, for instance. We may never know the full story on that. We don't know, what really drove him to do what he did, or what happened with that whole thing. If he was really this crazed mastermind, or if he was just a patsy. But we don't know where his mind was at. We just know what we're told. So I don't know. I just want people to take this information however you want to take it. But just know that there are people that are out for their own self-interest, and there are good people out there too. And I think the key is learning to distinguish between the two, and knowing who's really on your side and who's not. And sometimes someone that we thought was horrible might turn out to be the best friend you ever had, and vice versa. So, all right, that's all I have for this. I'll talk to y'all later. Stay safe, everyone. Love y'all. Until next time, bye-bye.